Hello there, and welcome to UKversus. We are a day delayed because it was my birthday, and we were chilling out playing a League of Villains event. And we initially just wanted to talk about the Wish tournament and have uh, some speculation as to how it would impact the Webcam RLE. Talk about the League of Villains event yesterday and the upcoming Critical Role. But then something happened. The Fire Nation attacked, as it were. But before we get into everything, before we get into everything that's going down, it's been about 11 days. How have you been, Richard? Yeah. You're on my side. So, I do apologise. I
Okay.
forgot to unmute Richard.
You son of a gun. Anyway, hello. Yeah, Richard here. So yeah, we'll chat about those things. We will obviously talk about the news. We're not going to speculate or anything because I don't think that's fair to any party. Yes, hello, I am here now. Yeah, I don't think it's fair to anyone to overly speculate or anything like that because but yeah, we'll report on it and talk about it. But yeah, it's been a fun few days otherwise. So yeah, I guess the breaking news is that a prominent member of the community has been suspended or banned from the game for, I believe, 2 years. And they recently won the Wish tournament, and obviously has retrospectively had their prize rescinded, going to the runner-up. I wouldn't show that email, Brett. Take that off. I suppose it was put in a public forum, but still, yeah.
Okay. Let's go. Let's just stick with what they announced then.
Yes, but this was obviously announced on the main Discord.
Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously Jose is a well-loved member of the community, right, and a very successful member of the community, and obviously a very good player. I think I met him briefly at the HLC last, a couple of years ago, wherever.
He's part of that elite group of two-time HLC participants, which is a very exclusive club.
Yeah. Obviously, one of the prominent members of the Unfun team. Very active and helpful on Discords.
Yeah, spearheaded Game of Toga. He was one of the spearheads of Game of Toga. He was one of the spearheads of the Tokiyami meta that took most of the world by storm in 2023. Him and the Unfun stuff are kind of like meta shapers, and if you spoke to anyone last year as to who the best players were in the game, it was always between Bromley and Jose. Yeah. Broberg, Broberg and Jose.
Yeah. Obviously it's a bit of a shock. Yes, I mean Jose's had an incredible record on webcam, right? But not only on webcam, like he's not like he's sort of, great on webcam and then done nothing in paper. Like, he top 4 US Nats, or was it top 8? I can't remember.
He's top multiple events, including RLEs, Nats, provisionals.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's top.
So again, this isn't just like his record is restricted to online stuff. Like, he's obviously a very, very good player. Is very well thought of by people that know him. So, I from my perspective, I hope that the reason he has got banned was legitimate and there was plenty of evidence behind it. I'm hoping there was. So, from an extent of it means the ban is legitimate. I sort of hope it isn't, from a perspective of, sort of that he was the person we thought he was, right? In terms of like being a clean and excellent player.
Yeah,
that is all speculation, and we don't know either way. Again, I don't know the guy, so like
we've all had brief interactions at Vegas, at Florida. Jose seemed like a genuinely decent guy, but then again, so did Connor at the RLE, and it turned out that he was cheating all the way up to top 4. So it's hard to say. I've said this in multiple Discords. I am sitting firmly on the middle of the fence. I
Yeah.
like Jose. I like the Unfun guys. I've loved their content since back with Brewing with the Boys. I think all of them are really, really cool. But I think, in all honesty, UVS needs to release why they've done
No,
this.
no, no,
With such a
no. They
predominant
do
member of
not
the
need to
community,
publicly, and they should not publicly put anything out there, right?
he's
Because
such
it's
an
basically it's none of anyone else's fucking business,
yeah,
right? It is
that's
between them and Jose.
it's just my
Um,
opinion. But because he's such a he's
no,
such a public member, he's such an influential member, and it's part of such an influential team that if they don't release the evidence, they at least need to put a statement out when the ban goes live on the site, because at the minute on
no.
the suspended player list he's not on there. But to me, because
That's
of
a conversation between them and Jose, and it's no one else's business.
this is just my opinion.
Yeah, sure.
I
That's more from perspective of, I think, from you wanting to know, and everyone wants to know, right? And that's sort of only natural. They want to know what's going on. They want to know that everything's legitimate. But from a process perspective, you almost have to think of it almost like a criminal investigation, right? In that it's no one else's business and it's between them. And if Jose decides to share any conversations, that is entirely down to him. I hope they do have those conversations with him as to why, so that they can talk about it and the reasons why behind the ban and stuff like that. But I don't think that's anyone else's business, and they should not make it public because it sets an awful precedent.
But then that also goes against your example you just used. In a criminal investigation, you have to prove it beyond you have a burden of proof.
But in terms of when police are going through the process, right? They don't tell anyone because it sort of infringes upon the investigation. Then they're not a complete corollary, right?
The police don't incarcerate you or suspend you or give you punishment without a trial unless you plead to being guilty. And
exactly, but this isn't a public trial.
It's not.
Right? It shouldn't be, and I think making that stuff public would be, like I say, an awful precedent. And I think it should be behind closed doors. But absolutely include Jose in that conversation.
Yeah, Jose there should definitely be an appeals process that Jose can go down, find out exactly what they found out in their investigations, and give to keep up with give Jose his day in court, let him say his piece. He wasn't.
Obviously, that's down to UVS Games and their how they want to handle it.
From what we've seen from what we've seen from Andrew Discard, because we've only seen one side of the conversation, like with a lot of stuff. It kind of came out of nowhere, but as much as we talk about Jose, I do really think there's going from again talking about Jose as a player, as his influence over the community, of who he is. UVS will not have made this decision lightly. They will. They've done in the investigation. They'll have found what they say is concrete evidence. They'll found beyond a reasonable doubt that they want to do it. As much as I do think Jose deserves to be able to fight this, UVS must have something definitive to issue a ban to a player like this. And again, I don't think I don't think they issue bans unless they can essentially back it up. They don't issue suspensions, so it's not a ban, it's a suspension. They don't issue suspensions without evidence. Not telling him why or what they did, just that he's banned for cheating, is a bit weird. Because I think even with Connor, they did tell him why. It was like the deck stacking and the discard manipulation. He was still told why it happened.
There might be legal teams involved, right? Because that sort of thing could be, they might need to consult legal teams to make sure they're doing it correctly and not leaving themselves open to litigation. Like we I don't know how those processes work.
Yeah.
Because if for example, let's say it is a baseless accusation. Let's say that they feel he's cheated, but he hasn't.
Hypothetically, we're going to very clearly say this is a hypothetical.
In theory, let's say he hasn't cheated, but they accuse him of and ban him. That's the sort of thing that could, I guess, possibly be open to litigation, right? I don't know. So that's why they might be consulting with legal teams to get their wording right, that sort of thing. So But again, I'm not going to say he is a cheat. I'm not going to say he isn't. This is just what's happened, and the world's probably going to be on fire for a few days slash
Do you
weeks.
know what would be wild? If
You've
Mitchell,
never seen it.
if Mitchell took his card that he was designing and made it a Jose character card.
I mean, there's the other part of it, and obviously it must feel horrible for Mitchell, right?
Yeah.
To sort of almost win the Wish event through by these means because they're teammates and friends, right? So, yeah, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if Mitchell turned around and almost refused the prize. Like from that perspective, like if he's like, this is my friend that I believe has been screwed over, I don't want it. And
then was I don't know if I think Omar might have been third. He's still part of Unfun stuff. It would still might have won.
So let's move away from this because it's just going to end up with too much speculation from stuff we don't have knowledge about, and I don't.
Yeah,
and move on to the Wish tournament itself, right?
Yeah, I just want to let me just wrap up what my feelings before now.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
No, it's just a case of one. Let's not attack UVS. We know one of the great things about this community is we have this ability to talk to the design teams, talk to the people immediately. And what I don't think we should be doing is going talking directly to Jelly, to Lonoko, to Paul, to Lohan about this, because as much as we think we're helping, this is a conversation for essentially unfunning UVS, because that's why they have their teams to back them up. That's why they have the stuff like that. As good as we have as a community, the mob mentality would not help Jose here. And as much as we've done in the past with such like the Wish tournament drafting, the mixed round formats, we have made changes. I think we need to take a step back as a community and let this be a private fight. We don't
accept the fact that, like Andrew's saying in chat, he's about to get banned too, and like you sort of expect that mainly because you're friends, right? And you want to have your friends back, and I totally get that. And,
if I was close with if you got banned, Richard, I would have your back. I would fight to the Raptors for you.
And if you got banned, I'd be laughing at it. No. It's exactly the same thing. Like, again, if like, a friend of mine gets banned or something bad happens to them and I feel they've been hard done by, then sure, I'm going to set the world on fire because they're my friend and that's what I do.
Exactly.
Right.
But
so
we have to remember UVS will not make this decision lightly, especially given Jose's standing in the community. And complaining for complaining's sake is not going to help the situation. It is just going to make it worse. So I don't know if I don't know if Jose and Andrew agree with me here, but I'm just saying, as much as we want to riot, as much as we want to kick off and scream about what's going on, either in UVS's defense or against, because the feedback I've got from people has been so mixed, and it's so mad to see. I think it's just one of those times where we have to accept this is the state as it is for now, and let this fight go on in the background, and just hope
be a case of just like again, just perspective of wanting to get Harry's back, and that's totally fair. I think for me, like let's say you got banned. I reach out to you and say, right, do you need me to pick up a fuss, or do you want me to stay the shut the fuck up?
That's it. Right? Unfun have their own big server. They've got a massive crew of people.
My hope here isn't that basically someone's decided he's too successful, and I'm not saying anyone in UVS. I'm saying someone outside has kind of put together a portfolio, effectively going on their own little personal witch hunt because they've looked at Jose and said he's far successful. There's something must be going on, and compiled something and sent it in, and someone bitten that bait, as it were.
Yeah.
Because the other thing to bear in mind is, and we have joked on this podcast before about his record. He's like, he's never a cheat. And it's like, no, of course he isn't. Well, at least from my perspective, he wasn't. He's just obviously a very, very good player with a track record of being a good player. He's got one of the best sort of testing and deck building teams behind him, that have put out multiple kind of meta defining decks, like the Game of Toga, that sort of thing. I believe like the whole kind of future charge tribal death younger Tagoro, that was originally a young unfun stuff thing. So he's got all that, he's got a lot of the best players in the world as part of his testing team. And he's someone that genuinely feels a lot more comfy being able to play in his pajamas with coffee at home, right? So I think a lot of those, that was my perspective on his success was he's just a very good player that has like perfect conditions and perfect kind of playtest teams for success. Sure.
There's no way this was a decision made purely on statistics of nobody can win 90% of the webcam events they enter. Someone's gone. There's got to have been some definitive evidence.
I mean, hope so.
Jose is a great player playing the meta decks. He's not like for example, someone brought up to me about Jose. I literally turned around and went, okay, let's look at my statistics for 2022. I entered 2 webcam events with Dabby 1, a character that everyone had written off. I top 8'd 1, which I should have top 4, but I misplayed. And then I top 8'd Nats, and then chose not to play day 2 because my son was ill. If you look at the situation on there, playing a character that people had written off in the Asui meta and getting top 8 twice, that's very suspicious indeed. It's not going to be a statistics thing. It's not going to be look at that. What's going on there?
I hope not.
It's going to be they've got.
And it is weird. Like I hope that it is legitimate, but I also hope it doesn't because I don't want him to be a cheat and sort of put a sort of black cloud over those results and everything going previous. But I also hope they've done this when it's actually genuine, right? So it's a tricky one to be in. But
yeah,
I'm sure there'll be fallout over the next few days / weeks, and maybe things will come out, maybe things will don't. But this is where we are at the moment.
Yeah, I'm going to wibbly wobbly this very carefully. I'm not going to say. I'm going to say I hope Jose does come back to the game, but I can't see UVS making this decision without definitive proof. So I like Jose. I like all the unfun stuff, guys. They're great for the game in their own way, but I can't see UVS making this decision.
Yeah,
and I think I've just upset Andrew.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a really, really tough one. I like Jose. I like UVS. I don't. It's between a rock and a hard place.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a tricky one. Anywho's, let's move on from that. So yeah, the Wish tournament was at the weekend.
Yes.
It roughly went, I think, how people expected. So I entered with my Flash Gin because I didn't have a lot of time to put in a lot of playtesting, and I thought it'd be fun. And then promptly went O2 drop. It seemed like all the UK in EU players got paired against each other.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Round 1 I played against Murray, and then round 2 I played against you, and then you got Liam and me. I lost against Murray and then lost against you, and then I was like, okay, I'm done. That's fine. I don't need to stay up until 4 in the morning for the off chance of topping. But yeah, the younger Tagoro obviously sort of ran away with the event. It was sort of as expected. He was the sort of the obvious deck, but also probably the most powerful deck in the format. He's a 5-hander. He's a 6-hander with 5 hand size abilities, right? And I think he'll be, a powerful part of the standard meta going forward. Whether he is as dominant in the wider field, we will see. But yeah, that sort of death 4 diff, everything draws a card lineup is just very, very powerful. He gets to play all the kind of defensive stuff. So, you're talking about like the Keiko Foundation, Flip to Breaker 2. You've got um, Best Genius one to stop the damage pumps, and then it just gets to play all the stuff and card draw, and just gets to sort of defend with his face. And he's got 32 health, so as long as he can block once or twice, and gets to play Showdown, like one of the best things because everything's a high. And gets to play Genkai's Guidance, which I think was one of the breakout cards of the weekend. I just saw everyone playing that, and I think it is as good as advertised. Genkai's Guidance are very, very good. So definitely something you should probably just at least be playing one or two of on Symbol. But yeah, we had 7 out of 8 the top 8 younger Toguro. I think there was one Byakko who was the only other deck that really put up numbers in terms of success.
And he made up half of the top 16. And a big shout out to Scott Berry as well from the Dobbers, who got into top 16 with his Byakko. I did testing against it on Friday. We only got one game in, and it was a very tough matchup. Pretty much all of his attacks came in for lethal.
Yeah. Again, it's just Catman make attack go big.
Yeah.
And you just need to have to deal with that, right? Because sometimes they're like, a 20 for 24 or something. Like, they're very, very fast and very, very hard. And you need to have a reset or you're dead. I was probably expecting maybe a bit more in terms of Yasuke. Just because, again, he's a like, you just put all the spirit cards together and you're done in terms of if people didn't want to put too much effort into a build.
He's not the most
Genkai was the choice there.
Yeah, Yusuke is not the most defensible. I do believe he was on stream a little bit.
Yeah, I think Matt from the University Academy was playing Yusuke, and I think was almost on a winning in, or he went fairly deep.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think there was one Suzuki that made top 16, which is really cool because I still love Suzuki and I still want to sort of make something work with him, but haven't got around to it yet. But yeah, like I said, I think it went mostly as we expected. Younger Toguro, especially that death build. There were a few of the all builds going around, which are really cool, which were a bit more throw heavy and doing things like copy harden, and like things like rapid punches and you got your chivalrouses and stuff on that. So. But yeah, mostly what we expected. I think that Death Toguro is going to be here to stay. I think it'll be a player in standard, something you definitely should be prepared to face and beat if you're going into like your local qualifiers. But whether it's something that everyone's going to be flocking to, whether it's going to be this kind of everyone's playing it and it's the best deck in the format by a wide margin, I don't know. I think some of the, thinking like sort of your Mirios that can zero out something, or your overhauls that, can block 4 or 5 times if he needs to, because he gets to block at least once from non-progressive, and some of these other sort of defensive decks and other decks that can say, okay, I'll block once or twice and then I'm going to be able to 32 you, like your Ryukyus or your Mount Ladies or your Endeavor 3s that can just say, actually, I can do 32. Sort of very similar to sort of his game plan, really, of I'll block or DR or I'll deal with 1 or 2 of your attacks and then I've got enough health total to sort of survive the rest, and then I will kill you on the backswing. It's
also...
Yeah, I don't know.
It feels like we've gone back into the Ojo 3 meta of as long as my opponent doesn't draw hot, I live. But with how much cycling and looting that Younger to Go can do, I only faced against one, which was Omar from the top 4, and I don't know if Omar would back me up on here, but it was a tough game. I managed to take game 1 off a haymaker because I was running. Yeah, I've got a video. We've got a video up on YouTube where I go into more detail about my deck and what's going on. Haymaker was an absolute MVP for me. But then game 2, I turned my character sidewards to try and get more defensive and died. Game 3, he used the ultra rare. He used To Go's ultra rare, which was a 1 of in his deck. So I checked, so he pulled it out at the right time, turned my character sideways, and just killed me. So
yeah,
if you are defensive enough, you can get through. You can get through there. The main issue is trying to get through 32 health in a defensive deck is not easy, and unlike Odra, where you knew, okay, at least if I hold one of each block zone, I can defend against the first three.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know what's coming with these block zones.
Well, you do. It's all highs, right?
It's
And
not all
that's the
highs.
thing. It's a little predictable, right? In that most of the good ones are highs, right? So you can sort of hold two highs and a mid or whatever.
And then you get
Because
slammed for 15 and get by the 100% power.
yeah, but again, they're only really playing it as a one or two of, right? It's like a case of okay, if they've got it, they've got it. But actually, I'll hold my high blocks because
Yeah.
they're playing Seizing, they're playing Battle Aura, they're playing Mop Strike, they're playing whatever the other one that is that just draws a card. I can't remember, a 45% power. But yeah, there's going to be decks that can say actually, I can do 32.
Yeah.
It's whether you can do 32 through his defense of whether he's got a Genko's Guidance in hand, or whether he's got a Showdown to put a big hold. Because watching the games, like Showdown was very clutch in those things, especially like whether you've got any sort of speed resets, or they were using it with. I saw Jose using it with the foundation that's effectively like the All Might one that says if it shares symbols, reduce it to 0 with the block mod, right?
Oh, Spirit Detective.
Yeah. No, I think it's Genkai's training.
Genkai's training, yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, Genkai's training, if it shares 2, it gets -2 to its block mod.
Yeah, so yeah, just being able to, having that key sort of showdown block or reset or the Breaker 2 foundation, like he has enough of those tricks where having that and that 32 life, he can survive those turns unless you're going real hard. So yeah, it's tricky. You definitely need to have a plan for him, right? But I think those other decks can sort of stand up to him, where maybe these other sort of UU ones couldn't in that format, because maybe they, someone like a Genkai or a Jin or maybe a Suzuki or Koa, they probably needed, they probably need to get to like their version 8 or version 10 of their deck in terms of testing and refining to get to a position where they're happy going into that format, or going into that matchup. And obviously we didn't have that much time, so maybe if say the Wish tournament was in like a fortnight, we might have seen a bit more of a diverse meta in terms of people being able to get to their version 10s of these other decks and feel like they had a good matchup going into it and had a plan going into these younger Tagore.
I mean, if the Wish tournament was in a fortnight, we'd also have the Critical Role cards, which would be insane.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that was just random numbers, but yeah, like I said, I think it was as expected. Younger Tagore is always going to be a monster, and yeah, 7 out of 8 top 8, and we just have to see how it does sort of going into the full standard meta,
which we can move on to now, because this upcoming weekend we have the Webcam RLE, which the information for dropped last week after the Wish tournament was all sign-ups were getting going, and it's an interesting one. It's free to play, which is a plus. But you're only playing for social points and competitive points. You're playing for those points, star points, to get into.
Yeah, so the seasonal points and the championship points,
that's it,
right?
seasonal. I was trying to remember what the S was. Seasonal points and challenger points. Seasonal points we need to put for. One of the main reasons I'm taking part. 3 rounds, fine. And then half of the challenger points that you'd get for a normal RLE is what you get for Webcam. So I think at the minute we're looking currently at like 16 points for the winner.
I think it's on that. I think it might depend on how many people you got.
Yeah,
right?
I think there's 102 or like 122 signed up at the minute.
Yeah. So yeah, obviously, if you're interested in playing, go ahead and sign up. I won't be able to. But yeah, I mean, I think it being free and no pricing is totally fine. It just means a competitive event. Yeah, if you look at sort of what sort of metagame we can expect, I think if you go over to Satonis's YouTube channel, Mr. Keith. He's put a really good video yesterday or today, sort of discussing where he thinks the meta is. A really good watch, really good listen. So yeah, go over and check that out.
I'm definitely interested to see what comes out from here. I do expect Younger to Go to still kind of have a chokehold on the meta because, as people have pointed out, him and Azor just break games early on. If you've got 4 foundations, how much are you actually going to be able to block against his damage coming in with -1 to the +1 to his checks?
Yeah, I mean that's where you need like your resets, your damage swaps, like your I forget what the name of that bloody Best Genius Foundation is. The stops damage.
Always cool.
Always cool. That's the badger. Yeah, your always calls, your spookies, your barrier shields, all these things. Keiko's aids, like you need to have a plan going into your showdowns. So yeah, you need to have a plan going into that matchup of okay, how do I beat this? And then maybe Younger Tagoros they modify their thing. They're not playing such a high heavy match. I think maybe they start playing different ones.
So at the minute, I'm running the same mentality as I did last year against Ojiro and Jiro. So last year in May for the RLE, I ran Mina 1, and I had All Might 7 in my sideboard because Ojiro and Jiro want to play more than 3 attacks. And if I can block 3 things, I turn their character sideways. And for my deck coming up at the weekend, I have All Might 7 in my sideboard again. Because if Younger to Go on that 3rd attack, I go, block it, turn your character sideways. And they go, oh, yeah, okay, yeah, no, I can't kill you now. It's like, you can't kill me now.
Yeah, I mean, he came up in Tim's video actually as someone that's quite interesting from that perspective of just being able to commit him down or commit other characters down, like the defensive ones or offensive ones.
Yeah.
And also chronostasis, right? A character that I don't like, but a lot of people like he fires neurons for them. But chronostasis locks that first attack in, right? So it means that he doesn't get to build it down.
There's also the muscular card that says that's a high block that says once you block with it, choose a card in your opponent's card pool. It can't leave the card pool.
Bursting Muscle Bash. Yeah, that was a sideboard tech for Recovery Girl that a lot of people used to play.
Yeah, and then you've got Interdimensional Sphere and Faith Shield, which flip them and remove them so they can't be built down. There's a lot of stuff out there to do it. It's just a case of...
we know what the beast is now, right? Yeah. So it's just a case of what people can come up with to counter that, or will it be as represented? I think he will be a good chunk at the meta game. So I think you can't go into that tournament without a plan. Like if you can't beat Younger Tagoro, then I don't think you can take your deck.
I've been one of those. Yeah, I said this during. We've got Adam in the chat talking about reversal. During my HLC interview, I said reversal needs to come back. There needs to be a way for you to put pressure on your opponent during their turn, and basically forcing Younger to Go to have to play one of the cards in his hand when he's trying to sculpt 5 attacks is a great way to do it. Just be able to
I think they will. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they bring back reversal in some form. Right? I just think it'll be a new reversal, so I think it'll be a new version. So
similar to Echo and Multiple.
Yes, especially I think that's something they're probably working on or have worked on and have in the works, I would imagine.
Yeah. Especially now safe is back as a minor keyword. It's back on reprints. It's something that we could have and make those safe cards relevant.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was just that was incidental. They just wanted to reprint those cards, so I don't think that's a big deal. Welcome, Omar, now to the chat.
I'm going to assume that this is the Omar that gave me a beat down at the weekend.
I think it is, but I don't know.
Yeah, he was on David's YouTube. So if you don't know, David Toombs, aka Let's Talk UVS, does early morning or mid-morning streams for us on YouTube. He's already covered the Wish tournament. Okay, Game 2 was a heavy beatdown. Game 3 was a soft beatdown. You pulled your one of 100% power, and then it was a very soft beatdown. But game 2 was just a total beatdown. Yeah, it is at the same moment. I was really happy to see you make top 4, man. That was really, really cool. I didn't think that matchup was unwinnable. I think I just got very unlucky. You saw that I got you to 20, and then you just turned my character sideways and killed me.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think it's really cool. I think I didn't like not having a lunch. I think with how many people wins time.
Again, from a tininess perspective, I think that's fine for webcam because people can just effectively eat at their desk, right, or eat at their table.
You say that as though I wasn't playing a 7-hand control deck that needed all the time in the world. I think apart from the younger Tugro, I went to pretty much time every single time. We were very close to time.
Look, Brett, if you can't play at a reasonable pace, that's a Brett problem, not a game.
I played against Karama. We had 5 minutes left after game 1.
That sounds like you're both slow playing.
No, we were both built up to like 17 foundations. We were both just very respectful of each other's offensive power.
I bet I could watch the board of that.
To be fair to my Kurama opponent, I did talk about that. He was swinging out at me with at least 3 attacks a turn. They just weren't coming through for anything.
And I bet you were taking 5 minutes on each enhance. So yeah.
No.
So yeah, I think that's what we can expect. I think the old guard of like your Mirios, your overhauls, Endeavor 3s. I think overall you need a plan for 6 hand size aggro wanting to punch you in the face on turn 2, turn 3, and if you don't, then what are you doing?
Yeah. I'm looking forward to see what's going here. I mean, I'm hoping to see at least one person running the no attacks list. Which is not, they don't play any attacks, it's you don't get any attacks. I was talking about this with Liam during round 1. It's just a deck that removes or discards all your attacks, and it's not going to win events, it's just going to infuriate people.
Is this doing like Krenma's task and that sort of thing?
No, it's 4 Deception Daggers, 4 Capes, 4 Confused, 4 Decoy Duplicates, 4 Interdimensional Spheres, and it basically just goes, remove your attacks or discard them, then use Confused and Deception Dagger on a loop with Dark Tournament Looms and Ambush Thrust to keep removing attacks from your discard until you got nothing left.
Does Deception Dagger remove something?
Yeah, it removes from you. You get plus speed for block modifier.
Am I forgetting what his card does? No, I am forgetting what his card does.
Yeah, Deception Dagger. This is why everyone's after Deception Daggers. I've had to pay 50% extra just to finish my playset, and they're not going to get here in time.
Oh. Yeah, I always just think of it as just like this stun 2 thing that. Forget about the actual enhance on that card.
Yeah, the actual enhance just lets you. He's got momentum, but the actual enhance just goes. Yeah, I take one of your cards from your discard and remove it. I was as elder to go. I was terrified of someone playing that deck against me because I love my discard. I don't want to bully my opponent. I just want to emotionally hurt them a little bit.
All I'm going to say is this has death, right? And I'm sure that Thingy has death. What's his name?
Which one?
Sonai.
I think Sonai has death.
Yeah, Sonai's got death.
Yeah, Sonai's got death. You can death.
You could play Deception Dagger Sonai, and
you can play Elder to go. You can play Younger to go and Night Eye. You can play Elder to go and Deception Dagger.
Yeah, but Sonai is funnier. And I'm talking about. I'm going to build it for locals, but yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But yeah, speaking of locals, we'll move on. Obviously, we had a little webcam locals yesterday for someone's birthday. So yes, happy birthday, Brett. That was
35
yesterday. You what 47 yesterday?
35. I've been waiting years to use that Scrubs quote, and I don't get to use it anymore. It's so good. But yeah, I got a fancy smartwatch from Robin because I now have life insurance, and one of the life insurance was things was, oh yeah, you can pay less if you track your exercise. I was like, cool. So I got a £300 smartwatch to pay less on my life insurance.
But yeah, so we had the Patriot Webcam locals, which in honor of the Dabby guy's birthday was League of Villains characters only.
Well, we found out yesterday morning it was League of Villains trait, which made you very upset.
Yeah, I was getting to that. So it was any character of the League of Villains trait, and that included the set ones. So you could play Nomu, you could play Shiggy one, but you could not play Dabby one because he technically doesn't have a League of Villains trait. I understand why. I know that in set 2, in that part of the storyline, he wasn't in the League of Villains. He was interviewing for it. I get it, but it's Dabby. I wanted to play Dabby 1 Storm, and I wasn't allowed, and I was angry.
You could play at the RLE this weekend.
I'm not playing in the RLE this weekend. So instead I played Spinner because I thought that would be funny. So I played Spinner,
it was very funny.
Because I was going to play Storm of Blades, whatever happened. That was my plan. I'm just going to play a Storm of Blades deck because I love the card so much, and I've not played it in a while. So that's what I was going to do. I got paired into Nomu round 1, and obviously my 3 damage tribal can't really beat Nomu, as Adam in chat will attest to, having played at the RLE when I was playing Giro Storm against his Nomu.
You guys were done so
quickly.
Adam,
or was it Connor?
Adam, I think you played against Adam. Was it the one where if you beat him, he pulled out the 10 characters?
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that was Adam.
I don't remember, but it was one of the Scottish guys, right? That was playing Nomu.
Yeah, it was Adam.
Yeah. And obviously got a pummeling. I think they possibly, they're both.
It might have been both. It might have been both.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the 10 characters in Connor. There you go.
Yeah, I think it might have been Connor then, but yeah, obviously, 3 damage tribal can't beat bloody Nomu. I then get paired against Shiggy one, and my deck doesn't have defense, so again, not very good against Nomu or Shiggy one. I checked a little badly and just got Shiggied. And then round 3, I got paired against Brett.
Round 3,
mercilessly, because I drew both games. I had I think it was a 6 attack and then a 5 attack hand.
Yeah, you had like a 5 and 1
ones, and did both 3 life in one go. So yeah, it was fun. Spinner's still not good.
In our game, I did get the moral victory because I turned off Storm of Blades.
Yeah, that was an interaction I didn't really realise. Incredible Display beat Storm of Blades, and that's upsetting. But I still got there. So
you did. You kicked me down, but the beauty of you going, our Storm Blades I'll cancel it. Just quickly looking up the Incredible Display. You can't do that, can it?
Yeah, I'm like, I can't. I thought, oh no. That was it. Yeah, Adam crushed me at Nationals when I was playing Tokiyami, where I feel like Tokiyami can beat Nomu, but not when he builds 3 learning standards.
In the event yesterday, my first round was against Shigaraki, and fair play to Kai. My computer froze midway through our first game, and he was happy to let me continue once I got it back up and running without the game loss. That would have been huge. So big shout out to Kai for that. But I also didn't respond with Dabby on damage once in our 2 games because I completely forgot that was a thing. I didn't realize till halfway through my game with Adam, against Steve, where I was like, "Oh yeah, I can respond and deal more damage." It's like, oh my. Because I was sat there going, why am I only doing 6? I'm sure I'm supposed to be able to do 7 on every attack. It's like, Dabby's response, I've not done that once. But, yeah.
Yeah.
A big shout out to Patriot for indulging me on my birthday. I got very lucky that my birthday fell on a Tuesday for the event. It was very cool.
Really cool.
Big shout out to Mr. Hardiman for hosting it and for not timing me out on my birthday.
Yeah, he did keep kicking Greg out of the chat, which is quite funny. But yeah, obviously, the Tuesday Patreon local was really cool, really fun. No one goes super sweaty. Everyone should join in if they want to play locals,
Yeah,
earn some packs, play some games.
It doesn't matter where you are in the world. If you've got time at 6 p.m. GMT to play a webcam event, jump in. Sean is great at posting stuff out. It doesn't matter where you are in the world.
Yeah.
And we also got some big stuff coming down throughout the week. I mean, last week we did jump in on the Godzilla stuff as it came down, but then we got the playmat reveal, and I love these. My least favorite is the Rodan. I've made my thoughts clear on this with the fact it looks like a Karen.
Kind of want the Mothra one. I'm not a big playmat guy, but I kind of want the Mothra one.
Mothra, I for one welcome our Lord and Savior Mothra. It just looks like, like when the hero's coming to save the day. Mothra just gives me that savior vibe.
Yeah, so these are all available for sale, right? So
yeah, these will probably be sale. I don't think we've had apart from the Cowboy Bebop one, which was a 25-year anniversary. But I think we're getting Mighty. I think we're getting Critical War ones as well.
Yeah,
but this art goes hard. It's not.
And these are all the alt arts, right? These are all the alt art versions of the characters.
It's not the alt art we deserved, which is the Sesame Street art.
Yeah, sure, but these are the alt art versions.
But these are the alt arts that we got, and they go so hard. The artist was so happy to work with you. Yes, said they were great to work with. Said they were absolutely amazing. I found him on Twitter, and he was talking about how good this was. And then we got the new alt arts for 99 and Critical Role. So we got Vox Machina, and people really love these. For me, they're not as good. After seeing Godzilla, these felt like a bit of a palate cleanser.
Yes.
I can see why some people are so hard on them, and they do look nice, but after seeing Godzilla, I was expecting a little bit more. And then...
I mean, I guess it's a case of what sort of vibe they were going for these, right? In terms of the art style and what they think will appeal to not only sort of UVS players, but Critical Role fans coming into it, right? So, that's going to be part of their decision process there in terms of how they pretty these up.
No, that makes sense. It's just going, having seen the series and stuff like that, I would have loved to see, the alt art be the Raven Chosen of Vex, or Vax's more Ranger sort of look, how they look when they've leveled up. To me, this could be a wanted poster for me, and it would still but then
but I guess they want to just show off it as art or something they maybe could have put a wanted poster in the background or something. I don't know.
They're not wanted. They're more like the heroes of the town.
Yeah.
But then we got the Mighty Nine, and oh my goodness, how cool are these ones?
Yeah.
These are not...
They're very purple.
Yeah, they do be very purple. As soon as he's dropped, I immediately messaged Hardman saying he needs an alt art not for RLE. Hell yeah. Jester looks absolutely amazing. I'm sure my friend Millie will want this immediately. She's a massive Critical Role fan, and if I pull one, I might just have to give it her because she does so much for Robin. Because that is so cool.
The other thing about obviously all these alt arts is that they've not done every card in the set this time, right? It's only a select amount of them.
Yeah,
in terms of alt art. And the other ones you get foil versions.
I never got an answer to my question as to how many are going to be in the pack. So in Trigun,
still 6. I think
Yeah.
you will probably still, because I think it was effectively, if I remember right, you effectively got 1 rare / ultra rare, 2 uncommons, and 3 commons.
Yeah.
That was, I'm pretty sure everyone, again, if anyone in chat got different than that, but I think that was pretty much the
I think there was a
distribution.
couple of people that got 5 in a pack, which they had to reach out and they got like that side.
Yeah, but like what the it should have been was a rare, 2 uncommons, 3 commons.
Yeah, but if
I
the
would imagine
pack,
it's the same here.
no, it's not. It's
And
not going to be
it's
because not all the cards have been done. There's
no. So not all of them have alt arts, but I believe you can get foil versions of the standard art in these packs.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense. But yeah, because I was looking at it and I was like,
For the ones that haven't got alt arts.
there's only 6 cards that've got all arts, and then the 2 characters. So if you're just getting them in the packs, then it's a case of you're just gonna get the 6 all arts. But no, if you can get full art versions of the other cards,
I think effectively you get XR versions of the existing card.
that'd
So
be
with the
cool.
same art but XR version.
I really hope these guys aren't as hard to get as the Trigon ones, because I believe the Trigon and Bebop ones were equivalent to Chrome rares.
Yeah, and it sort of makes sense to an extent, right? Because all of this was bespoke art, all of the set was. So it sort of makes sense they didn't go out and then get an entire second set of bespoke art for the entire set just for these alt arts. It makes sense to just sort of do the alt arts for highlight stuff from that perspective, because it is all bespoke. At least with like the Bebop and Trigon ones, they were all screen caps, right? So it makes sense that they're, it's easy enough to fill out a folder full of alt arts for all of the cards.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, the cards look amazing. I can't argue that. And we've got the Briarwood event coming up next week as well, where you get the Briarwood card for participation and you get to take on the Briarwoods.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
As people have said, point out, it seems weird taking on the Briarwoods without Percy, because it's kind of like his whole story that for Percy. But hopefully, if Critical Role keeps going, we'll get Percy, we'll get Grog, we'll get Scallon, we'll get the other members of the crew, because it's so cool. I'm really happy for this. I've already got 2 of each pre-ordered from Card Goblin. They had a cool deal on where you could get both decks for like 48 quid. That was I picked up like the last one. I'm really hyped to play this, and I'm Greg is going to on the 22nd. Greg is going to come back to defend his title as card guessing champion as we go try and do the Critical Role decks.
Okay. I will try and when are we doing that one?
That'll be the 22nd. Greg's coming back. Connor's coming back. Hardiman hasn't told me if he's going to come back. After last time, he might not want to, but who knows?
Yeah. Obviously, it's a Friday. That's Frosthaven Day for me. If I'm not Frosthavening, then I'll come along.
Yeah, it's all, I imagine that's why I didn't bring it up with you, because I knew you're busy on Fridays. But Fridays seem to be the best day to try and do these kinds of things.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really excited for the stuff that we're getting from UVS. I mean, I'm really excited to play at the weekend. Then I've got local.
Yeah, I think I've got my local qualifier on Sunday. I think. No idea what I'm going to play. I'll think of something.
I think my next local qualifier is the 1st of April, if I can make it, because it is Easter Monday. That makes it a bit of a pain because Flynn's off school.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think there's like 3 different ones happening there. But that'll be. I haven't. It's been a couple of weeks since I've seen the guys down in Southampton. I'm hyped to play this stuff. I'm just really, despite everything that's going on at the minute, I am really hyped with all the stuff we're getting from UVS. I'm loving the direction that Webcam has taken with making it more relaxed. Even with the
WishCon, and I think they're moving away from it, right? In terms of Webcam being a big channel, which I can understand why, right? Because effectively it sort of takes away the emphasis for local play.
Yeah.
The main reason for things like the Webcam Wednesdays and Webcam Play was partly COVID,
Yes.
and partly where people didn't have locals. The Webcam Wednesdays gave them an ability to get hold of the mechanically elite promos, so like the Plus Ultra packs.
But if they
They're
moved
not doing
away from
mechanically elite anymore, so there's no need to have those locals so people can get the mechanically unique cards and encourage people to go to actual locals if they want the shiny promos, but they don't need them to play the game.
Yeah,
So they don't need to do the webcam and effectively take away business from LGSs. And I think that's the kind of the route they've gone down. And that makes sense.
I think you've hit the nail on the head there. 2024 is the year of the LGS. They've made that very, very clear. Draft was supposed to come in to support LGS. The fact that you have to qualify for regionals, the fact you have to qualify for Nats by going through your LGS is very important. And Webcam taking a step back, be like, yeah, you can still you can earn your additional points. So like, you can only attend one of your local qualifiers. You jump in, you play 3 rounds of the Webcam RLE, and then you're qualified for the in-person RLEs. Perfect, easy. It's a great catch-up mechanic. And you hit with the pandemic, 2021, 2022, we were still coming out. Early 2023, we're still on those now, and now we've got like World Health officials basically turning around going, treat COVID a bit like it's the flu. We've got to the point where we're managing it. That Webcam has...
it's not gone away. No. It's still there. People still need to not be licking each other.
For things like the Wish Tournament, for international events where they don't want to where they want to get everyone playing against each other, they could have quite easily made the Wish Tournament a national-based thing, but...
Yeah, I mean, again, it made sense from the Wish Tournament perspective that was it. So
for those specialized events, so if we had like a girl power event, they could do something similar. Same with Critical Role or Star Trek Online. But I think using Webcam for speciality or more casual competitive play is a really good move, and keeping high level events in person and pushing in-store play and pushing that relationship with local stores is going to make local stores want to have that relationship with UVS as well.
Yeah.
I just need to find a store near me that will support the game now.
And they just need to make Asmodee, not Asmodee.
I got a message. I checked my messages after the Wish Tournament. I got a message of one of my friends who runs the Yu-Gi-Oh scene down here. And he's like, is MHA, the card game, still a thing? And I was like, yeah. It now has... Yu Hakusho. I went through like all the stuff and that's happened in the last year. It's like, oh, that's really, really cool. I was like, are you interested in learning? He went, no, I was just talking to people other games. Like, okay, I will get a locals eventually.
Yeah, and at some point, you'll come down to Hastings again. So
yeah, exactly.
I look forward to that.
I might have to come down for the Briarwood stuff. I need a Briarwood card.
Yeah, I don't know when we're doing that. But I will find out.
Robin's working the Genshin event on Friday. If you are in the London area and you like the Horrorverse, there is a collaboration nature trail with Genshin Impact happening in London this weekend. Do head down and check it out. It's going to be really, really cool. They've got some very, very talented cosplayers and content creators working that entire weekend. If you're there on the Friday, my partner Robin will be there. If you're there on the Sunday, Ember Wolf will be there, who is an absolutely amazing content creator and a really, really chill person as well. So I do recommend going down there and having some fun with Genshin Impact.
Yeah. I don't know what Genshin is. I don't know what I mean.
But honestly, I think we keep it short today.
Yeah, I think that about covers everything. Hopefully we were as, I guess, respectful and...
Yeah, I apologise to Andrew if I did say anything that did make me come across as a clown. It's very hard talking about what's going on with Jose and UVS.
And it's tricky because it's also like it's literally happening as we're talking, right?
Yeah, it literally happened 10 minutes before we went live. It's a very tricky situation because in my heart of hearts, I want to believe in Jose, but I can't logically think that UVS would do this without sufficient proof.
Yeah, but we'll just have to be honest here in that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a thing I need to deal with at home, so I think we have to cut it short there.
Yeah, that's a very loud squeaky door. You might need to get some oil in there. So yeah, for those of you who are playing at the weekend, I'll see you there. Hopefully, I'll get my deck together. It'll be very interesting to see what goes down with everything that's going on. As Colin's saying, yeah, people in the States, yeah, this is a big thing, and I'm sure we're not going to be the last people to talk about it. And I imagine there's more to come.
Hopefully everything gets resolved nicely. But
I'll just reiterate. I'll just reiterate the one point we did make earlier. Honestly, leave it alone. Let Jose and UVS sort this out between themselves. What they don't need is every Tom, Dick, and Harry inputting their opinion and pushing the issue. They know it's an issue. Jose knows it's an issue. UVS knows it's an issue. Let them get on with it and just go on about your lives. It is something that's happened, and you have the right to feel how you feel about it.
Yeah,
that would be my takeaway from it. It sucks, but there's nothing that we can do about it. It's something that only they can do about it.
Yeah. So don't go wading in on the main Discord. No. You're not going to help anyone. The communications will come out from either UVS or Jose as they deem fit, and you'll find out stuff. But ultimately, it's not really any of your business. So, But yeah, everyone that's joined us in chat, thank you very much. Obviously, if you're watching this YouTube, again, thank you very much. Click the like, comment, subscribe buttons, all that stuff. It's really helpful. And yeah, we will catch you on the next one.
Yeah, well, it'll probably be Tuesday because of the webcam webcam event.
Yes, so yeah, probably next Tuesday next week.
So we'll catch you on Tuesday, and have a great week, guys. Catch you in a bit.
See you later.